Hey guys, I'm Tony Hines and I have Renato Segeka with me.
Hey guys.
And today we're going to be going over what SEM is and why it's important for your business. This is going to be the first webinar in our 5-part series on SEM. We have another webinar next week. That's going to be covering how to create Google Analytics accounts and Google Ad accounts. So I guess let's just jump right into it.
But first I wanted to just update you guys. Boy, you're in a big rush to get this going. But, we have a lot of things going on at Floriology. So we have a class actually coming up this weekend. It's the Elements and Principles of Design class with Jackie Lacey. It's a little bit too late to sign up for it, but we just wanted to let you know that it's happening. And April 5 through 9, we have Stacy Carlton, AIFD, CFD, coming in to teach Wedding Bliss and special events. And our last class for the spring this year is June 7 through 9, certification and competition with our own Jackie Lacey, AAF, AIFD, CFD, PFCI. So not too late to sign up for those courses. And I know that we do have slots still available, but they are filling up fast. So visit FloriologyInstitute.com/register to register for these courses. So I just have to put in that plug.
Yeah,
okay, now we can start. What is SEM and why is it important?
All right, so what is SEM and why it's important? So SEM stands for Search Engine Marketing. And this may seem very broad, but it's actually a very specific term that refers to paid search advertising. There are a lot of platforms that you can use paid search advertising on, Yahoo and Bing, but Google is by far the most known and used platform.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of people ask me that all the time. Like, do I need to, advertise on all these search channels? And my answer to them is this answer: I know Google Ads, or Google itself, owns more than 96 to 97% of the search share. What that means is 97% of the world use Google for search. So if you need to prioritize it, I would prioritize it with Google.
Yeah. That's a great point. So the next thing is, so why is SEM so important? What's so great about it? So this is a key highlight about SEM. It's a very effective way for small businesses to reach new customers, increase revenues, and trim acquisition costs. So this pretty much, it gives small and medium-sized businesses a chance to compete with those larger brands that have a much larger spending budget for their advertising.
Yeah, so I think that's a really great point. It really puts the small business on an equal footing with even a lot of the larger businesses, because a lot of florists ask me all the time, hey, Renato, like anytime I do a search for my shop, or like say florist in Jacksonville, Florida, that's where we're from, why do I always see the same national advertisers in the top 3 slots and do this right now? I mean, you could check it out. So like just do florist in your hometown, and you'll probably see those 3 slots, which are AdWords, occupied by, I won't mention them, but you know who they are. And this is the flat out reason. The reason why, and then, florists say, well, they seem to be doing this in every city. And this is the blunt answer. The reason why is because you're not doing it. Remember, one thing that you'll find out with Google AdWords, it's a bidding process. So the more bids for those keywords, say Jacksonville, Florida, florist, the higher the cost. But the fact that florists like you don't bid, it allows all these national marketers to bid in your space, because the price for them to bid is actually pretty cheap.
Yeah, since no one's doing it.
Yeah,
So this is kind of what Renato was describing earlier. If you look on the left side of the screen, we have Honda Accord Hybrid Search, and those first 4 ads, the first 4 results on the page are all ads. So this kind of goes back to why SEM is really important. Aside from the fact that you can't really distinguish them, these ads look and react the same way as regular web pages. The only difference is that they have a small little ad symbol on them that most people overlook anyways. But aside from that, just getting into the numbers, 93% of all online experiences start with a search engine, and 73% of all clicks go to the top 3 results. So that shows you that if you're not spending money on these ads. If you're not trying to be in the
then
race,
you're totally out of the game.
You're out of the game. No one's going to see you at all. They're going to scroll past you or not even get to your result. Mm-hmm. So a couple of other things. The top position, mobile usage trains searchers to click on top links. With mobile, you have a much smaller range of motion when you're scrolling. So those first results are more prominent. They show more people click on those more.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have my phone with me, but I think it would. So what Tony's talking about is like, it's just even the act of surfing on mobile. So how many times have you ever taken out your phone and you do a search and then you do that, right? With your thumb. You're only going to do it probably once, if ever. Mm-hmm. But usually if you're on your mobile phone, you're walking. Some people are being very dangerous and they're probably driving, so they don't want to scroll sometimes. And they'll usually just rely on the first top picks and click on one of those. So that's what we mean that, customers are being trained just to click on the top 3 links. Yeah. Let me make sure this is on mute. Okay. Cool.
So Renato had asked me before this presentation if I could go over a little bit what the difference between traditional marketing and SEM is. So I'm just going to go ahead and answer that question now.
Yeah.
So with SEM versus traditional marketing, you have more control. With SEM, you can be more precise and more accurate with your ads and your targeting versus traditional marketing, which is more vague. With traditional marketing, you're putting your ad, your message out there, but you're not really putting it in front of people that are going to react to it. People may not be looking for that product, but they're going to hear about it anyway. So that's a waste of ad spend. With SEM, you're only paying per positive action.
Which is what? Well, what's a positive action?
Pay per click.
Click, right? Yeah. So that's cool. If you think about it, you're kind of getting advertising for free in the traditional sense. And then hear me out. So you pay for your ads and they appear. So people will actually still see the ad. Mm-hmm. So you're still getting the benefits of the traditional advertising. And what Tony's talking about when the positive action is that click. So when they click, that means they're really serious on, what's this ad about? Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with paying for a serious acquisitions. Yeah. SEM, another great thing about it is it levels the playing fields versus big competitors. This is something I mentioned a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. It gives everyone, small businesses and medium businesses that chance to actually compete and rank higher than some of these bigger businesses, mm-hmm. and with the low cost. So those are just a few things.
Yeah, let me just add on to that. And I don't know if we were going to cover it earlier, but with Google, they do definitely prefer local business ads versus like these national marketing ads, because remember, Google is all about delivering relevant results to the user. So if the user in their mind is looking for a local florist, they are more than happy for a local florist to be advertising. And because of that, you'll actually pay a whole lot less, mm-hmm. for the ad versus a national marketer.
Yeah.
So a national marketer is probably going to pay $3,
where you're paying like $1.50.
$1.50 or less sometimes, from what we've seen.
Yeah. That's a great point. Going off of that, so with SEM, like I said earlier, you have a little bit more control, but what exactly is that? So with SEM, you have control over your locations, your demographics. You can even set income range for people that you want to show your ads to. If your ads are performing really well, too well actually, and you can't control all the traffic that are coming in, you can pause your ads. You can make edits to your ads if you catch like an error or something like, mm-hmm. that. You can remove ads that aren't performing, or you can add ads as you see fit. This is different than traditional marketing where you have to pull a whole campaign. With advertising, with Google Ads, you're able to just, mm-hmm. edit it right on the spot, and those edits will become live within the same day. You actually have more control over your budget. You can set a daily budget or a lifetime budget for your ads, so you will never exceed that amount. You can exclude people, mm-hmm. From seeing your ads, so people in different locations that you don't want to make purchases. And there's a lot of other things that you can do, and this is just surface level.
So that's really interesting, talking about locations. So for you florists out there, you may pay for a billboard, or you may pay for like a newspaper ad. And yes, a heck of a lot of people will see it, but you'll never know if they really acted on it. But one thing cool about this whole location thing is like, if you had certain delivery areas that you deliver to, great. You could include those. But how about some certain areas that may be within a radius that you don't deliver to? You could actually exclude those.
Exactly.
So
you're not spending money on people that aren't going to purchase.
Yeah, so this is so cool. This is like an advertising method that is just so targeted, and you know exactly what your ROI is. And like the point I was making, and then we'll keep repeating, like 93% of what do you call it? Product searches start with search. So this is a good way to go. All right, let's keep going. Sorry.
So a question to ask yourself, has your competitor established a number one spot on the organic search rankings? So this could be through SEO tactics. They maybe have been doing SEO for years or months, and they're just wizards at it, and they're number one. They've had that spot established, and you really want to compete. You can appear above them with SEM advertising and potentially steal their click or even their customer.
So like that's really interesting, because this is a strategy that the national advertisers are using, right? But what you're doing is like you're the real local florist in an area, that you would just basically use the same strategy and get those clicks. And this is like fascinating, because like one time I visited Google and they had mentioned to me, what's the quickest way for a new business to get on the screen with customers? And of course they would say SEM. But if you think about it, it's true. If you're a new florist in an area, or you have like a florist that has been around for a long time, and again, what Tony was saying, they have that really solid number one ranking just because their website has been up for a long time, and yours hasn't. If you start spending some dollars and they don't, where does your listing appear now? It appears at the very top. And then remember, people aren't scrolling down with a thumb as they used to. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that are bypassing those organic rankings and just clicking at the top link. So just something to consider.
That's all that I have for today, unless you have anything else you want to go over.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just stick around and just wait for a few questions. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments below. And what we'll do now is like, is there I'm putting you on the spot, Tony. Well, you know what? Let's talk about Tony a little bit. You may have seen his face before, and he probably presented himself as a Floriology social media specialist. Yeah. But Tony has made the jump over and has become our SEO SEM specialist with the Floriology program. And if you're not familiar with the Floriology Digital Marketing Services program, all the stuff that we're talking about, we actually do it for you. So Tony runs campaigns for lots of florists, right? Yeah, a ton of florists. So they're, a lot of these florists, they're investing anywhere from, we'll say, $200 to $400 or $500. Some are even investing $1,000, $2,000, for Tony to run their ads. So in this program, right now it's $99 a month, and we manage it for you. And what Tony does is like he'll get together with you and he'll gather all the information about all these targeted areas you want to do, the campaigns you want to run, who your competitors are, and do these campaigns, and have it set up for you. So I mean, I know SEM could be a complicated business, but that's what he does. So you know what? How about this? For us, what we'll do is go ahead and keep posing questions in the comments, and we'll go ahead and end the webinar, and we'll go ahead and answer the questions in the comments after we end this. So thank you very much for joining us. And if you have any questions for either myself or Tony, please, like I said, in the comments bar, but I know sometimes your questions may be very specific to your business. So go ahead and email Tony directly at thines, so that's THINES, @bloomnet.net. Any last thoughts?
I'm all good.
All right, thanks guys again for joining us. And our next webinar will be how to create Google Analytics and Ads accounts on January 15th. So see you then.